Hi class, yesterday we read the story Hurricane by David Wiesner, and I told you that this was a fiction story. And we know that fiction stories mean that it is not true. However, a lot of the things that happen in this story could have happened or are true. For example, the hurricane could have happened. This could have been a similar situation to what the author had went through before. But when we look closely, like halfway through the book, we realize that the story goes from feeling kind of true to becoming more of an imagination. So on page 16, I'm going to read 4 pages, and we are going to look at how the story takes a turn from being realistic to more imaginary. It says, David fearlessly led the expedition into the very heart of the jungle, stalking the mighty leopard. So we can see, based on just this part, it shows pictures of a jungle, and we know that these two boys did not actually go to the jungle, but what they are doing is they are imagining it. So they're playing outside with the tree that fell down because of the storm, and they're imagining that all these things are happening around them. It says that they're stalking the mighty leopard, and if you look closely at the bottom, what they are looking at is their cat. So they're stalking their cat, but pretending that their cat is a mighty leopard. Then it says, that afternoon they rode the 7 seas with George at the helm, while David searched the horizon for pirate ships. So on this part, it's showing that they're imagining the big tree or the log as a ship now. So they're using it to go to all these different places, and they see all these different ocean animals and creatures and these ships in the distance. Now we know that this is not actually what is happening. And lastly, it says, all the next day and the day after that, they journeyed to the stars and beyond. So now these boys are imagining that they are in space with their tree as their spaceship, with their cat as well. So as we've talked about, the before part of the story could have actually happened, but this is kind of where it gets fuzzy. We know that this isn't what is actually happening, but it's more in their imagination, what they're thinking in their heads. Okay, so they're using this tree to kind of create a fun scenario for themselves. This is similar to the story Roxaboxen that we looked at last week, where the children created an imaginary town. Now, there were actually rocks and little pieces of glass around in their neighborhood, and they marked them as streets and as houses, but they were imagining like an actual house, but really it was just a small area where these things were, okay? And yesterday we also practiced stopping and asking questions. So we know that good readers don't just read, okay? Good readers read to understand, and sometimes that means we have to stop and ask some questions as we read to make sure that we're really understanding what we are reading, okay? Now, today we're talking a little bit about making inferences, okay? Making inferences is using what you already know to see what is actually happening in a story. So based on this story, even though they're showing us pictures of them being in space, we can use our background knowledge, what we already know, to decipher and decide that this is not actually happening in real life. This is a part of their imagination. As children, we imagine things. So we see something and we create something special out of it. So maybe you have like a box that you got in the mail, and you might use that as a little car or as a house when you were younger to create something fun. So just like these students are doing as well. Today for writing, I want you to just do some free writing, okay? So most of the days I've given you specific things to write about, but today I just want you to spend time writing, okay? I'm not going to give you a limit, so I'm not going to say write 10 sentences. I just want today to be a time for free writing. So maybe you'll create a story, maybe you want to write down, make your own recipe, or make lists of something. It doesn't matter to me, but you need to do some type of writing today, okay? So after you watch this video, I want you to do your writing and then have your parents send me a picture of your writing for today, okay? So you can be as creative as you want, but today is going to be some time for just free writing and enjoying writing on our own, all right? Have a great day, everybody.